Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Continuing chapter 13, After the Passing Away. On page 558. Monday, May 9th, 1887. The next morning, M. was sitting alone under a tree in the garden. He said to himself, Sri Ramakrishna has made the brothers of the monastery renounce lust and greed. Ah, how eager they are to realize God. This place has become a veritable paradise, and the brothers living here are the embodiments of Narayana. It is not many days since the Master passed away. That is why all the ideas and ideals he stood for are there, almost intact. The Master has made these brothers renounce their homes. Why has he kept a few in the world? Is there no way of liberation for them? From a room upstairs, Narendra saw M. sitting alone under the tree. He came down. Narendra, you may speak of leading a detached life in the world and all that, but you will not attain anything unless you renounce woman and gold. Vain is the life of a person who does not take delight in the teachings of Vedanta and drink the nectar of divine bliss. No liberation is possible for a man unless he puts on the loincloth of a sannyasi. The world must be renounced. Why should a man be entangled in worldliness? Why should he be ensnared by Maya? What is man's real nature? He is the blessed Shiva, the embodiment of bliss and spirit. Narendra recited a hymn, the 8 stanzas on the glory of Krishna. M. remained spellbound as he listened to the hymn. He said to himself, how intense Narendra's dispassion is. This is how he has infused the spirit of dispassion into the hearts of the other brothers of the monastery. Their very presence awakens in the hearts of the Master's householder devotees the desire for renunciation of woman and gold. Ah, how blessed are all these renouncing brothers! Why has the Master kept us few in the world? Will he show us a way? Will he give us the spirit of renunciation, or will he delude us with worldliness? After the meal, all were resting. The elder Gopal was copying some songs. Niranjan was on a visit to his mother. Sarat, Baburam, and Kali were in Puri. Narendra, with 1 or 2 brothers, left for Calcutta. He had to see to his lawsuit. He intended to return in the evening. The brothers could not bear his absence. In the afternoon, Rabindra arrived, looking like a mad person. He was barefoot and had only half of his black-bordered cloth around his waist. His eyeballs were rolling like a madman's. All asked him anxiously what was the matter. Let me recover my breath, he said. I shall tell you everything presently. I am certainly not going back home. I shall stay at this very place with you all. She is certainly a traitor. Let me tell you something, friends. For her sake, I gave up my habit of drinking, which I had indulged in for 5 years. I had not taken a drop for the last 8 months, and she is a traitor. The brothers of the moth said, Be calm, please. How did you come? Rabindra, I have come barefoot all the way from Calcutta. The brothers wanted to know where he had lost the other half of his cloth. Rabindra, when I was leaving her place, she began to pull at my cloth. That's how half of it was torn off. The brothers asked him to bathe in the Ganges and cool off. Then they would hear his story. Rabindra belonged to a respectable family of Calcutta. He was 20 or 22 years old. He had first met Sri Ramakrishna at the Dakshineswar temple and had received his special blessing. On one occasion he had spent 3 nights with the Master. His disposition was very sweet and tender, and the master had loved him dearly. Once he had said to Rabindra, "You will have to wait some time. You have to go through a few more experiences. Nothing can be done now. You see, the police can't do much just when the robbers attack a house. When the plundering is almost over, the police make their arrests." Rabindra had many virtues. He was devoted to God and to service of the poor. He had many spiritual qualities, but he had walked into the snare of a prostitute. Then suddenly he discovered that the woman was unfaithful to him. Therefore he had come to the math in this disheveled state, resolved not to go back to the world. A devotee accompanied Rabindra to the Ganges. It was his inmost desire that Rabindra's spiritual consciousness should be awakened in the company of these holy men. When Rabindra finished his bath, the devotees took him to the adjacent cremation ground, showed him the corpses lying about, and said, "The brothers of the math come here every now and then to meditate on God. It is a good place for meditation. Here one sees clearly that the world is impermanent." Rabindra sat down in the cremation ground to meditate, but he could not meditate long. His mind was restless. Rabindra and the devotee returned to the math. They went to the worship room to salute the deity. The devotee said to him, "The brothers of the math meditate in this room." Rabindra sat there to meditate, but could not meditate long there either. "Devotee, how do you feel? Is your mind very restless? Is that why you have got up from your seat? Perhaps you could not concentrate well." Rabindra, "I am sure I shall not go back to the world, but the mind is restless." M and Rabindra were talking. No one else was present. M was telling him stories from the life of Buddha. At that time, the members of the math regularly read the lives of Buddha and Chaitanya. M said to Rabindra that Buddha's spiritual consciousness was first awakened by hearing a song of some heavenly maidens. M sang the song. "We moan for rest, alas, but rest can never find. We know not whence we come, nor where we float away. Time and again we tread this round of smiles and tears. In vain we pine to know whither our pathway leads, and why we play this empty play." That night, Narendra, Tarak, and Harish returned from Calcutta. They said, "Oh, what a big meal we had." They had been entertained by a devotee in Calcutta. The members of the monastery assembled in the big hall. Narendra heard Rabindra's story. He sang by way of giving instruction to him. "O man, abandon your delusion. Cast aside your wicked counsels. Know the Lord and free yourself from earthly grief and pain. For a few days' pleasure only, you have quite forgotten him, who is the comrade of your soul. Alas, what mockery!" A few minutes later, the brothers went to Kali's room. Girish Ghosh had just sent 2 of his new books to the monastery, The Life of Buddha and The Life of Chaitanya. Since the founding of the new math, Sashi had devoted himself heart and soul to the worship and service of the Master. All were amazed at his devotion. Just as he had tended Sri Ramakrishna's physical body during his illness, so now, with the same unswerving zeal, he worshipped the Master in the shrine room. A member of the monastery was reading aloud from the lives of Buddha and Chaitanya. He was a little sarcastic while reading Chaitanya's life. Narendra snatched the book from his hand and said, "That is how you spoil a good thing." Narendra read the chapter describing how Chaitanya bestowed his love upon all, from the Brahmin to the pariah. A brother, I say that one person cannot give love to another person. Narendra, but the Master gave it to me. Brother, well, are you sure you have it? Narendra, what can you understand about love? You belong to the servant class. All of you must serve me and massage my feet. Don't flatter yourselves by thinking you have understood everything. Now go and prepare a smoke for me. All laughed. The brother, I surely will not. M. to himself, Sri Ramakrishna has transmitted metal to all the brothers of the moth. It is no monopoly of Narendra's. Is it possible to renounce woman and gold without this inner fire? May 10th, 1887. It was Tuesday, a very auspicious day for the worship of the Divine Mother. Arrangements were being made for her special worship at the monastery. M. was going to the Ganges to take his bath. Rabindra was walking alone on the roof. He heard Narendra singing the 6 stanzas on Nirvana. Death or fear have I none, nor any distinction of caste. Neither father nor mother, nor even a birth have I. Neither friend nor comrade, neither disciple nor guru. I am eternal bliss and awareness. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. I have no form or fancy. The all-pervading am I. Everywhere I exist, and yet beyond the senses. Neither salvation am I, nor anything to be known. I am eternal bliss and awareness. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. Rabindra went to the Ganges to take his bath. Presently he returned to the monastery, clad in his wet cloth. Narendra said to M. in a whisper, He has bathed in the Ganges. It would be good to initiate him now into sannyas. Both Narendra and M. smiled. Prasanna asked Rabindra to change his wet cloth and gave him a dry Garua cloth. Narendra said to M., Now he is going to put on the garb of renunciation. M. with a smile, What kind of renunciation? Narendra, Why, the renunciation of woman and gold. Rabindra put on the ochre cloth and entered Kali's room to meditate. End of the reading of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Beginning of commentary. No attachment to the lust for woman, man, or gold is the way that I see these teachings of Ramakrishna. For those of us who still have the illusion of bodies in the world, yes, we process money, we process our lives, but being unattached and having the discernment of what is the essence of God's love within us. This is part of the path now, here at Clearstone Abbey, where we have available a beautiful place for an individual retreat where the vibration of spirit is very strong. And every morning we have morning reading, and tomorrow we will start on a new spiritual book to share with you with love.